relationships take time to build. One idea that I had for the Rotary clubs was to expand on the concept of the Rotaract clubs at the college and universities level. By the time students are in their junior or senior year, they're becoming a little bit concerned about the career paths that lie before them. Many of these students would love to have some guidance and some reassurance that everything's going to be all right. If members of a local Rotary club were willing to become mentors to these juniors and seniors, I'm sure, I'm positive, many students would take full advantage of the opportunity to be mentored by successful professionals. I'm told that one or two individuals in some Rotary clubs may already be participating in a mentoring program. But what I'm suggesting is that you consider a much more committed effort in this area and by many more Rotarians. It would be such a great service to young people who at this stage in their lives realize that they want and they need wise counsel. Upon graduation, these students would then become potential future members of Rotary. In this way, every club would be constantly building a bench in the same way that our athletic programs do. Granted, such a strategy would require time commitment. I know that. But mentoring a young person can be done in as little as 2 hours per month when school is in session, and the payoff could be enormous. It really could be a win-win situation for both the club member and the student. Let me close by showing you some of the results of the passage of Title IX, which diversified all of our interscholastic and intercollegiate programs in the USA. High school participation. Now you will see the explosion for girls and women at the high school level. From almost nothing to 43% of the population. But what's also very interesting about this slide is the boys' number of participants also increased. So it was a win-win situation for everybody. The next slide shows you the high school differential between the number of girls at the high school. Female students number 49%. Female athletes at the high school 41%. So there's a difference of 8 percentage points. At Division 1 in the NCAA, there's a difference of 8 percentage between men and women. Division 2, souls 17%, and Division 3, 14%. So we've got quite a bit of work still to do at the high school and collegiate level in order to equalize our participation opportunities. And many of us are committed to doing that. Okay, on the next slide, this is fascinating. This shows you the participation by women in the Olympic Games in 1900. And you will note that until 1968, 1968, there were only 781 women participating in the Olympic Games. But look what happened between 1984 and 2000. This was after Title IX was passed. Title IX was passed in 72. And between 84 and 2000, the number of women in the Olympic Games almost tripled, which was phenomenal. In 1996, when the Olympic Games were in Atlanta, remember, a women's Olympic team called themselves the Title IX Babes. And they walked away with an amazing number of medals. Their successes were definitely the result of the passage of Title IX and the wonderful sporting opportunities that had been made available to them as youngsters. That success was not lost on the leaders from other nations who perhaps for the very first time realized that they too could increase their medal count if they developed the talents of women in their own countries. So, in the year 2012, for the very first time in history, every country that participated in the Olympic Games in London had at least one woman on its Olympic team. That may not sound like a great accomplishment, but it was. It will be interesting to see how many women participate in this year's Olympic Games. In the 2012 Olympic Games, the American woman excelled. There's no other word for it. Next slide, please. Nearly 2/3 of all U.S. gold medals were won by women, and nearly 60% of all U.S. medals were won by women. Women had a total of 58 medals, our men had a total of 39 medals, and for the first time in history, the women on our Olympic team outnumbered the males on our Olympic team, 281 to 271. Please do watch the Summer Olympic Games, will you? So, while Title IX has vaulted American female athletes onto a world stage as essential and wonderfully successful members of the American Olympic team, it is also causing other nations in the world to reconsider the role of women in sport in their own societies. Perhaps, just perhaps, they are also beginning to think of how women's talents and abilities could be used in so many other areas in their cultures. And if these countries were to allow women to fully contribute their abilities, what an enormous and unbelievable contribution that would be by the USA to the women of this world. When I was thinking of speaking with you today, I started to realize that the effect that Title IX is starting to have on other countries in the world could be replicated by Rotary. If the Rotary clubs in the state of Iowa could successfully diversify to include many more women, many more people of different races and ethnicities, different ages, occupations, professions, and sexual orientation, that model could be an inspiration to other Rotary clubs to build the same type of vibrant atmosphere where potential leaders are recruited and developed and become committed like you to serving humanity. Thank you very much.
Christine, I want to thank you very much for your words of inspiration. It's certainly a call for, I think, the Rotary and